What's up, everybody? This is Brian, and welcome back to More Low Less Talk. This is episode number 1. Basically, in this episode, what I'm doing is working on the front suspension. You're going to see where the spring pocket was. There was like a curl that goes underneath, and that curl was cutting into the airbag. So you're going to see me cut that curl out, and I put a reinforcement on the outside. So instead of on the underside, inside, it's going on the outside. So you're going to see me weld that reinforcement in there, and that gets that taken care of. Then I also reinforced the lower shock mount. It was just basically a tab hanging down before, and now I've got some gussets in it and stuff like that. It's way stronger. What else did I do? So the steering control arm, so like let's just say this is the frame. The control arm comes up when the bag is empty and hits the bottom of the frame, so I had to cut a little notch in the frame so it wouldn't interfere. So that's done, and the last thing I did was reroute the airbag line. So basically the line was coming above the frame and going in through the top. The problem with that was it was like, not joking, like this far away from the header. So I basically had to reroute it. I routed it in through the middle of the frame there, and instead of the airbag fitting coming straight up to where I could come in through the top before, it's got a 90 on it, comes in through the side, and all I had to do was just drill a hole in the airbag bracket, put a grommet in there so it wouldn't chafe the line. Beyond that, all I really did was get rid of some rust. I got some rust remover, and I painted everything under there, and it's looking way better. It looks almost like new again. I hope you guys enjoy this episode. If you like it, hit like, subscribe, and also check that notification bell so you can check out the new episodes that are coming out as they come out. There are going to be a lot of them. I got a lot of work to do to this car. So thanks for watching. Check out the episode, and we'll see you on the next one too. All right, so now you can see we're gonna have to, here, let me see if I can, there we go. So we're gonna have to obviously take care of this where it moves in, and then we're gonna smooth all of this out with the flap disc and maybe the grinder if we need it. We're gonna smooth it out on the inside here, and then we'll be ready for our bar. We're just gonna use some round bar and just weld to this outside edge on that lip right there. All right, so something completely random. We've got this dent in the frame here. All right, so anyway, we got this dent right here in the frame, and that is for this thing right here. So when it comes up, it doesn't hit. But I'm gonna cut this off mostly. I'm gonna cut this to see if I can get a good angle on it. Yeah, I'm gonna basically cut this like this at an angle. I'm gonna get rid of this sharp point because this kind of pokes up, and when I'm pulling the airbag out, it stops the airbag. So I'm gonna cut that out of the way. And since that's gonna be cut out of the way, we won't need this anymore. So what I'm gonna do here, cut a slice in it right here, and I'm just gonna bend the two parts flat so it's more even here. Turns out the stuff was too thick to bend, so I just cut it out. I'm gonna weld a new piece in here. The only other thing that I want to point out is, you know, listen, please pay attention. I didn't pay attention. And when I, hang on a second, let me get the light situated. When I was cutting this out, I cut a little slice in it right there on accident. So good news is I can just weld that back up, no big deal, but just, you know, it's just one more step that I shouldn't have to do, but I didn't even realize I cut through it. Just pay attention. Also, the other thing I did was I cut, okay, again, let me get this light over here. I cut this piece. So if you remember, it was sticking up to here. Cut that flat, so all I need to do is put some paint on that so it doesn't rust. I'll be good on that. So let's get to this piece right here. Oh, actually, no. We're gonna go outside and do some more painting. All right, so we're gonna let that sit some, another 30 minutes or so, and I'm gonna get back to work on this suspension. Well, you can see how I got progressively better there. I'm not a welder by trade, as you can see. It got me a little caterpillar action, and then it looks like it smoothed out quite a bit over here. But anyway, that's what a grinder's for. I also got to use a grinder anyway. You can see right here I got sharp edges here and here. I made it a little too long on purpose, so I'm gonna grind that down, and I still have to weld that little slice up underneath here. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. All right, so the battery went dead on the camera, so I did a couple things off camera, but basically nothing that I didn't already talk about. Went ahead and put this insert piece here in there, and also, I don't know if you can see it or not, but I had that spot where I cut And anyway, that's welded and ground down, and now I've prepped this edge here. I'm going to bend a piece of bar to this shape, and just to reinforce it. Now I've taken some TIG wire, and let's see if I can get my hands. I'm going to do this with one hand. All right, close enough. Anyway, taking some TIG wire and bent it to pretty much the shape that I need. And there's our shape there. And I'm going to bend this round bar right here to the shape. And that's my next step.
All right, guys, so it's hard to hold it on here with just one hand, but basically it's going to be a reinforcement, and you know, you can see like at an angle, see how big of a gap there is. I can close that up a little bit, I probably will, but at the same time, you know, as I come along and stitch it in, I'll be hitting it with a hammer and forming it while it's hot. So it might be the way to go, just to wait. Let's get this basic shape. But right here in the middle is where I'm going to start, and I'm going to work to each side from there. All right, now understand. All right, oh, let me change this. Yeah, that's a little bit better. All right, now please understand, I am not a welder by trade, but this is what I've got. Get up close. Still hot, still cooling off, but basically I've taken that bar, welded it on. Now I'm going to weld it from the underside, which is not fun. I already did it on the other side, trust me. And then what I'm going to do is kind of blend it. I'm going to, you know, grind these sides down so they're not so, you know, like in your face, like this is the end of it. But honestly, man, for the most part, these welds, I'm probably going to leave those. Nobody cares. Nobody's ever going to see this. It's just there for structure. Maybe one day I will build a full custom frame for this, where I will be able to be comfortable, and I'll use a TIG welder and everything. But for the most part, I think I'm done for the day. I'll get back at this tomorrow. One more thing I can do before I go. May or may not have already seen this in the frame. This piece is all painted. It's all dry, so I can go ahead and mount the bag to that so you can kind of see that. All right, guys, it's the next day. I have already installed the bag in the bracket, and you can see right there is where my line's going to go through. All right, now, okay, guys, remember I'm not a welder, I'm a window tinter, okay, but I went ahead and welded underneath here the bottom part of this bar, and you can totally tell where I stopped and started and then stopped and started again. So basically right here, I started here and went this way, and I did it all one long pass, and you can see that's, you know, it's a liquid metal, and so gravity's just pulling it on down, and so you know, I'm gonna need a lot of work there to fix that up, get rid of that. But on this side, I kind of tried something different. I just, you know, stitched it or whatever, and you know, it's able to cool, and so it doesn't sag and fall. And I think that's the way to go from here on out if I'm working upside down. So anyway, I'm gonna get this grind. First of all, I gotta cut. I mean, good grief, dude! It's like I gotta cut this, right? And then I'm gonna hit it with a flapper disc. And then the next thing after that, I got to work on this lower bracket for the shop. Get on that now. Okay, so here's what we've got done. Obviously, now this looks way better. You know, this is the kind of thing you know, some of you guys are probably laughing at me, especially if you're welders by trade and you're like, Jesus, dude, like amateur move, right? But anyway, you got to learn some point. I don't have anybody here to teach me, so I'm learning on my own. But long and the short of it is I got it looking better. I went ahead and you saw me cut these little angles down to kind of try to help it blend in. I'm not going to really do much with any of this to try to clean that up, but I got this angle down too. So pretty much this thing is ready to rock and roll. If you look under here, you know, I have nothing that will catch the airbag. So I'm going to call this part done. So now I need to work on this lower bracket. All right, just got back from lunch and went ahead and welded on this sort of box plate. This is where the lower shock mount is. So I kind of boxed this in a little bit, and then now I'm going to run a gusset here and also on the other side back here. I feel like with every little thing I get done on this thing, my hair looks worse and worse. But anyway, here's what he came up with. Not the greatest, but not terrible. Anyway, obviously the bolt goes in through there. Shock's gonna come on this side. And we're gonna get this thing bolted up. All right, so now I'm going to tackle notching out for this steering arm right here. And you'll see I kind of drew a line, kind of like rough shape where I want this thing to be. But there's my center point right there. And basically what I'm gonna do, I think, is I'm gonna take this shape right here and weld this in here. So I'm gonna cut all this out so I can stick this in. Now this should be long enough for both sides, basically because this arm comes up at an angle like that. I only need, like, the highest point will be here, and then it's going to kind of drop and fade away as we go underneath here. So I think this piece, we'll see, will be long enough for both sides, because both sides, the steering arm comes up at an angle, so it's really not even come close to touching on the back side. But we're definitely kind of all up in it, especially when you look at these things for the adjustments, screws for the adjustments and stuff. Like, they're down and out of the way on this side, but on the other side they're all up in there. So anyway, I'm gonna cut this. That'll give it enough room, and I think all I've decided to do is just kind of cut this out of flat. I don't know, what is this, 3/16? Cut a slice, bend it, and I'm gonna weld it up. All right, I know that's some fake ass dime stacking, but considering I'm a window tinter, that doesn't look that bad. Come on. All right, well, what I started with, that giant long piece, is now this is all that's left. And yeah, I'm gonna have to make another one for the other side, but now that I've got it trimmed, I'm gonna sit in there something like that, and now I just need to weld them up. Right, so here is all that work for that little bit. Still got to do a filler piece. Fill piece right here, and another one I'm going to have to do right here. Just to fill in this gap and fill in that gap. All right, so here we are. It's an hour or so later. Get this light out of your face. All right, so There's that. And there's the underneath side of it. Looking good. And this side where the spring pocket is, looks good. All right, so now just gonna go through with my normal stuff. I've got the where's it at? This is kind of my SOP here. I've got some gloss stops rust, and then while that's tacky, then I'll spray the flat on there. Flat actually helps it dry a lot quicker too. Something about that gloss is real thick or something, and it makes it take forever to dry. But anyway, so that's just gonna seal it in, and then once I'm done with that, I'm gonna use some of the Metal Prep rust remover, and I'm not gonna spray this whole thing down. And obviously I gotta vacuum a lot of stuff up, a lot of debris in here. And clean it all up a little bit with a wire wheel, spray this on there, and then I'm gonna use those same 2 cans of paint to just sort of dress up the area around where I've been working. That's it. So here we go. All right, we're gonna let this sit for 30 minutes. I'm gonna come back to it. I already painted this part black. And also the bracket down there that we just worked on, I painted that black as well. But we're just gonna let this sit for a bit. Come back to it, it's gonna look completely different in 30 minutes. Alright, can't tell me that stuff doesn't work, man. Some of this stuff still looks kind of rusty, but look at that frame, man. It's like nice. So I'm gonna roll through. So next step, we'll isopropyl, spray the whole thing down, wipe it down, and then I'm gonna go with my first layer of the rust. What is it called? The stops rust. Like I said, once this is tacky, after about 10 minutes or 15 minutes, I'll spray the flat on there. And by this time in the morning, well, by the time I get here in the morning to work on the other side, it'll be dry and perfect.
So here we go. What's going on, everybody? It's Sunday. I was not planning to be here at all today, but I got excited. I want to try to finish this installation of this side, and it's only like 30 minutes more worth of work, so I want to get this done and take a look at it on the ground. So I'm just going to put this up on a tripod, and you'll get to see the rest of the install.
Alright, so here's the top where the airbag bolts in. Here's underneath. I'm gonna shock bolt it in here and here. Tighten that down some more, it looks like. Do that real quick. Okay. And you saw me run the line inside the frame now, so it's not right next to this header. Way better. And I'm gonna get this wheel on and we're gonna see it on the ground. Let's go. All right, guys, this video is getting kind of long, so I'm going to cut it off right there. But if you like the content, please like and subscribe. I got way more coming after this. So you'll definitely want to be notified when a new video comes out. Thanks for watching.